Now is not the first time people have begun to consider a socialist alternative. The United States has a deeper and richer socialist history than most countries. Thomas Paine, the American patriot of rebellion, ironically invoked by Glenn Beck and the Tea Party, was among the first to champion the idea of a social welfare state. Socialist land reformers even helped start the Republican Party. Some of Karl Marx's closest friends, like Joseph Wittenmeyer and August Willich, known as the Reddest of the Reds, served as White House aides and commanders of the Union Army during the Civil War. In Lowell, Massachusetts, where the Industrial Revolution began in the U.S., the artisans and so-called factory girls bitterly condemned what they called the new spirit of the age, gain wealth forgetting all but self, and viewed the idea of renting oneself as an act of servitude and an attack on their dignity. The common view at the time was that those who work in the mills ought to own them, and they called for the extension of democracy into the industrialized sphere. The Republican Party supported self-autonomous work and opposed slavery in both forms, chattel and wage. In fact, most of the North during the Civil War was fighting under this banner. Lincoln, who was an open supporter of both Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, wrote in a letter to Horace Greeley, "Our idea is that labor needs not to combat but to command capital." But it didn't stop there. The author of the Pledge of Allegiance was an outspoken socialist. The song, "This Land is Your Land," was written by a communist columnist for the Daily Worker who once remarked, "I never sing nor play a single word or note that is not for the help of the working classes to know more, feel better, rise up, and control this world they have built." Other socialists included Mark Twain, the famed poet Walt Whitman, Albert Einstein, Upton Sinclair, James Baldwin, Helen Keller, who said, "The country is governed for the richest, for the corporations, the bankers, the land speculators, and the exploiters of labor. The majority of mankind is ground down by industrial oppression in order that a small remnant may live in ease." Kurt Vonnegut, and Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "The evils of capitalism are as real as the evils of militarism and the evils of racism." The leading mainstream political philosopher at the turn of the century was John Dewey, who regarded capitalism as industrial feudalism. Dewey argued that if private, unaccountable power, such as businesses and corporations, controlled production and commerce, democracy would be very limited if it existed at all. Dewey stated that until people are in control of production, politics will remain the shadow cast by big business over society, and in a free and democratic society, workers should be the masters of their own industrial fate, not tools rented by employers.